All right. I'm Jodi Jolly. I am the productivity coach, the director of productivity coaching in 4 market centers. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that as we go through the different market centers that we have. I've been in this business for 25 years. This September marked 25 years. And I specialized in residential real estate. I've done a few years of lending. I didn't really like that, but that's okay. We have some great lenders out there. And then I managed a real estate office. I ran a mega team at Keller Williams. And then when that team disbanded, I was given the opportunity to start a coaching program. So I've had my program coming up on 5 years, and where we help new and experienced agents be able to build a successful, profitable business in real estate. And so that's just a little bit about me. And Keller Williams is the worldwide leader in training and technology. So we are, when you look at, you can look us up in all kinds of resources, and we're number one in a lot of categories. And we didn't get that way by accident. There's a reason for that. And it's because at Keller Williams, we have proven, time-tested systems and models that help agents be able to be successful, regardless of your experience in real estate. Now, something else about Keller Williams is we have our mission, vision, values, and perspectives. And really, our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And so we really value God, family, and then business, and in that order. And I've been with, like I said, I've been in this business for 25 years, and I've been with this company for about 10 years. So, well, the largest part of my career has been here, and there's a reason I stay here. And this is part of that reason. Also, Keller Williams has culture that is second to none from what I've seen. And we really truly believe in the things that you see listed here. And Gary Keller calls them the Y4C2Ts, just a way to remember these things, right? And we truly believe in win-win or no deal. Everything should be a winning proposition for both sides, right? One of our brokers kind of gets a little funny with it and say a win-win could also be where both sides are equally dissatisfied because you might not be able to come up to a total agreement, but as long as both people are either equally dissatisfied or happy, it works, right? We do believe in integrity, in doing the right thing, not just for our own gain, right? Customers always come first. We believe in commitment in all things. So when we commit to something, we follow through with it. Communication, super important. I'm sure you guys know that communication is the key to almost everything we do successfully, right? And when we communicate, we want to seek first to understand. And that means listening, right? Communication isn't just talking, it's also listening and understanding where people are coming from and what their needs are and how can we help fulfill those. Creativity, teamwork, that may sound cliche, right? Together, everyone achieves more, but it's true because that last one there, success is results through people. No one succeeds alone. And that is really true. And we also believe in trust. That starts with honesty, right? And then equity for all people. So it doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, there is a place for everyone. Okay, I am now going to show you a video. I am going to go ahead and mute myself while this video is going as well, just so that there's no unintentional background noise. And as soon as it's over, you'll hear me again, okay? All right, here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason Abrams and I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. I'm speaking today from the Win-Win Studios at the home of Keller Williams, KWRI. I want to congratulate you. As a matter of fact, I want to thank you and congratulate you because you are here today and it's so important that you are. Today, you're going to understand by the end of this why I believe that residential, commercial, real estate in general is the single greatest industry on the planet. And what you did, I don't know if you realize it, but you're all already almost there. You see, so much in life is simply about showing up. And however you got here today was the perfect way. Because somehow, in this crazy universe of ours, we ended up here together and you ended up in the right place at the right time. You see, so much of life is all about timing. The problem is we tend to miss some of the most important events because the world around us is going so fast and there's so many things to distract us. So before we start, and by the way, I won't keep you for an hour. This is going to be a short 20-minute discussion, but here's what I would ask. Let's give me 100% of your focus. Now, once you do that, it's on me to earn it and keep it. I promise you, I have something up my sleeve. But let's forget about the drama of the world. Let's forget about the pressures of the universe. Let's forget about whether or not you have enough money in your bank account. Let's forget whether or not you have enough time to be here. And most importantly, let's forget whatever happened right before this appointment, because that doesn't matter. The question that you and I are here to solve is what's going to happen exactly after this appointment. You see, the reason that the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield is because we'd like you to spend more time looking forward in life. That's what this entire conversation is going to be about. Here's what Keller teaches us. Now, you're going to hear that name kind of throughout the day today. Not only is he my mentor, but he is the person that helped put models and systems into the real estate industry such that all of us could have the things that we want. You see, Gary would tell you that leadership is simply teaching people how to think, so that they do the things they need to do when they need to do them, so that they can have the things they want when they want to have them. And what he teaches us is that real estate is a local business driven by local relationships. He also says that all answers in life, the good ones anyway, are found in the most simplistic forms. The challenge is everything naturally wants to become more complicated, but all success is always found in simplicity. So today I'm going to try to break down in really short order the real estate business in general, and then I'm going to invite you to live the life that you deserve to have. Because here's the truth. We believe at Keller Williams in a very strict culture code. I use the word strict not because it's enforced with some sort of heavy hand, but because the ideals that set us apart, that we hold good and true for all people, we believe are good and true, not just in business, but in life as well. These things are in a very prescribed order: God, family, and business. You see, we believe that when we put the person together, the rest of the universe falls into place. So why residential real estate, you ask? Because we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help today? You see, homes are different than almost any other commodity. Nobody goes home at night and curls up with their stock and bond portfolio. They just don't. But they do curl up in their homes. As a matter of fact, the same kitchens that you have your best moments in, think of yours, are the same ones that you also might have some of your cries in. The same backyards where you see somebody take their first steps might be the same backyard where you throw that first football pass. And at the end of the day, the house, the home, becomes the backdrop for our lives. So we have an opportunity to go out and help other people find the backdrop for their life. The truth is, residential real estate or commercial real estate or any real estate that you decide to practice is an absolute increment part of the economy. 26% of all the wealth in these United States anyway is tied up in the equity in people's houses. So who do you think protects that equity? Friends, the first real estate agents got together in 1891. Since then, real estate agents have been helping people purchase what usually is the most expensive illiquid asset that they're going to have. We help people get over the fear of the unknown. We help people find the place where they're going to have their greatest moments. And in this way, we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help? But the truth is, most of the people that you know are going to be investing or owning real estate, whether you get a real estate license or not. You see, that's the thing about this. Ask yourself, why did you move the last time you did? Because a lot of folks get into a room like this and they say, I don't know anything about real estate. Friends, I would submit to you that you know almost everything you need to know about real estate. And all we're going to be doing is filling in some of the details. Why did you move the last time you moved? I'll tell you, for me, it was because I had a life event. That's why people move. They get a job, they lose a job, they find love, they get divorced, they have a kid, they become an empty nester. These are the reasons. They get rich, they get poor. We could go on, but this is what precipitates a move. And most people don't just move once. They move multiple times during their lives. We have this great illustration that I use to draw this, and it's really simple. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that way up here at this peak is when somebody moves. And of course, a real estate agent is involved. It's a great day for everybody. Housing dreams come true, real estate commissions get paid, and then this right here is the very next day. It's the very next day because they're on the bottom again, because think about you, nobody moves the day after they move because of you guys get it. But here's the thing. Every day after that, people get closer to moving again until they're right here, which is the next time they move. And then over here the next time they move. And then maybe they buy a piece of investment real estate over here. This is exactly how it goes. So the truth of the matter is, when a real estate agent becomes a fiduciary, and we're going to talk about that word in a second, we get to help people usually not just once, but 2, 3, 4, 5 times on their life journey. And again, this life journey is precipitated by the life events that they're having. The interesting thing about this, though, and you know this to be true, is the distance between people moving is about 3 to 7 years. Think about that for a second. Can you think of one other product that you've purchased where a bank or somebody else loaned you the majority of the money to do it that you then used for 7 years? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, my car and automobiles like that. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, that's how we define industry. They're the two most highly considered purchases for consumers, homes and automobiles. And we don't sell cars here yet. So let's stick with houses. The reason it's highly considered is because this dictates the way that people spend their time and the way that they live their lives. The home isn't simply just a thing. It's a collection of rooms located in a community. It dictates all the way shopping, to walking, to driving, to where you're going to go to school, to all of the different things, which is why this is so important for people. We also know that when polled, people love looking at real estate almost more than anything else, which means you could say that looking at residential real estate in a voyeuristic way is almost the pastime of humanity, which would make sense because, let's be honest, housing is on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You see, we're hardwired as humans to want to have shelter. And as we've progressed, we want to have shelter that we like, that feels like sanctuary for us. I'm going to read you a quote from a woman named Mo Anderson, who was the CEO of this company for many, many years, talking about this thing exactly. So how do I tie this back to you? Well, here's the thing. As people get closer to needing to make this massive investment and purchase, they do business with whoever's in closest emotional proximity. And emotional proximity means closest to them at that moment, either emotionally or physically. So how do you get close to somebody emotionally? You see, there's a myth right now that some of you are thinking, which is, I'm not a salesperson. How could I possibly get into real estate sales? The truth is, every single one of you is a perfect, phenomenal salesperson. Daniel Pink wrote a book on it. It's called To Sell is Human. You've been selling people your entire life. You just may not have been selling them a product. But the fact that you're trustworthy, the fact that you have a good reputation, the fact that you want to wake up and help people, these are the things that you've been selling right now without a product. Isn't that accurate? Don't you wake up on a daily basis and influence the people closest to you to know you as a good human being? If you do, then just get really clear on the fact that you're in sales. As a matter of fact, the first person that most of us sell is ourselves, which leads us to our next myth. See, some of you are out there saying, I can't do this. Or you're saying, they won't do business with me. Or you're saying, it won't work for me. It might work for everybody else. Or you're saying, I don't want to go out and talk to strangers. Or you're saying, I'm not sure. You see, all of those things are simply a sale that you're making in your mind right now to convince you that you're not the perfect person for this. But I want to reassure you that you absolutely are. If you're the type of person that wants to wake up each day on a quest to help people, then you're a perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're the type of person that defines their success by how others feels about their lives, then you're the perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're looking for an absolutely limitless financial opportunity, and when I say limitless, I mean just that, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. And if you'd like to wake up each day as a company of one, supported by a company of many, and make your mark on the world, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. So, how does the real estate industry actually work? It's far more simple than you might be thinking. It's really broken into 3 parts. Over here, you have when somebody buys and sells a house. I'm going to put a $sign. This dotted line here, which is very close to it, denotes the period of time when the consumer gets really serious about buying or selling real estate. That's the day that they say, I'm going to do it. The distance between this line and this point is about 10 weeks on average. Then you have this line over here, and everything to this side of it we call lead generation. What is lead generation? It's really just loving people, to be honest with you. When we lead generate, all we do is we try to find people that we can help. But here's the good news. You already have all of the people that you need to help in your life. And I'm going to prove that to you mathematically in a moment. But think about all the different ways that businesses lead generate now. You have emails, you have mail that happens, you get text messages, you get phone calls, you see TV commercials, you see billboards. I could go on and on. These are all of those things that happen here. Then this giant area in the middle is this giant period right here. It's just simply people living their lives. What real estate agents do during that period is we follow up. We stay in people's lives, we make sure that we're connected, we ask and answer any questions that they might have about real estate, and we're just generally really great stewards of our community. So there's really only 3 parts of the entire residential real estate business. So if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, I don't know where to begin, and this is probably really complicated, the good news, it's actually not. It's really simple. Now, I didn't say it was easy. I said it was simple. You pretty much now understand the entire residential, commercial, vacant land, raw land, looking for entitlement, real estate business. This is all of it in a nut jar. So what happens next? Interestingly enough, if you were to go get your real estate license right now, you would start on day 1 with plenty of classes to take and plenty of great ideas, but you might not have any clients. When polled, the number 1 fear that new agents coming into the business have is, I won't have anybody to work with. I'm new and no one's going to want to work with me. And I'd like to give you permission to release from that concern, because here's something that I don't tell everybody. I was new too. As a matter of fact, every single person that's in the real estate business was new at some point. That's the great part about our business. But you already have this amazing network of people. Play along with me for a second. I'd like you to take out your cell phone. Now, don't open it up to the face pages and the Insta Twitters and all of this sort of thing. Just open up your phone and let's go through this together. I'd like you to go to your contacts. Then I'd like you to scroll all the way down to the bottom of your contacts, and what you're going to see is a number, unless you're using an Android, and then who knows what you're going to see. But for most of us, we're going to see a number. So let's take that number, that's the total number of contacts that you have in your phone, and let's write that number right here. I'm going to guess that there's some of you that have 1,000 contacts or more. Well, let's just play the game. If you have more, raise your hand if you have contacts. You're crushing it. Okay, cool. If you have more than 250, keep your hand up. More than 500. More than 1,000. If you're in a room, this is getting fun. More than 1,250. More than 1,500. And usually when I say that, that's when a bunch of the heads go down. That's why I got to 1,000. If you have more than that, you're well on your way. Now, what I want you to do is take that number and I want you to multiply it by 6%. And for those of you that are math challenged, I make no judgment, that's 0.06. And that is going to equal a number. If there's anyone in the studio that can help me with that, that would be fantastic. What might that number be? Just yell it out when you know. Kelly, Cody? 60. 60, that's fantastic. See, and this is how we all play together at Keller Williams. That's 60. Now, why did I choose 6%? Well, there's all kinds of studies that show that about 6% of the people that are currently in your phone are going to have a real estate experience, either themselves, a sibling, or a quote-unquote best friend within the next 12 months. So now let's take that number, which is 60 transactions, and let's multiply that by whatever the commission average is in your marketplace. Now, I'm going to leave this, if you're here today, you're with a team leader, and they're going to help walk you through this because commission rates vary all over the United States, prices of homes vary all over the United States, and what you're going to end up getting is a certain number. And that number is the minimum number of what you should be doing annually if you get into the real estate business, wrap your arms around the industry, and then follow up with frequency and intensity to all the people in your data bank. Now, why did I jump to a conversation about money? Well, it's really interesting. When we poll and we ask people what their biggest fear about getting into real estate is, they all say the economics. And I think people say that because, and if you didn't know this, just hold on to the seat and get tight for a second, this is an all-commission industry. This is to say that you will have an unlimited amount of earning potential. So here's the definition that I like to use around compensation. And I think this is massively important because there's a bunch of different cohorts that are watching this video right now. For some of you, you're looking for an absolutely limitless opportunity and you're going to go build your empire and riches in real estate. For others, you're just trying to do a couple extra deals a year because you're already having an amazingly big life in some other profession, and this is simply to offset. And for some of you, you haven't really given this much thought. And by the way, all of these different groups, you're perfect, and we're the perfect place for you. So how does compensation work? Well, compensation is something you get for something you give. This is widely misunderstood. Most people think they should receive before ever giving. We know that's not the case. It's something you get for something you give. It's repayment for a contribution that you make that's needed and useful. I want you to write the words needed and useful down. And let's never forget that compensation is comprised of four things. Number one, the need for your service. Friends, I'd like to address that right now. Make no mistake about it. The need for housing has never been more acute worldwide than it is today. Everybody needs what it is that we do, and we need you to be a part of it. Number two, how well you perform it. Now, how well you perform it is going to be on you, but that's why we're here. You see, we wake up every day and try to make you the best real estate agent on the planet, and we're pretty good at it. The next one is the difficulty in replacing you. And let's get really clear on that. Once you become absolute fiduciary for your people, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to replace you. And the last one is the number of people that you get to serve. See, the interesting thing about Keller Williams is we're the largest real estate company under one brand that the world has ever known. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. We're in over 50 different countries. We're really good at this. So the number of people that you're going to get to serve is going to be a bigger number than you could actually fathom right now, because here's what I believe, and so does Gary Keller, is that the top real estate agents in the planet, the ones that are going to do the most business, they're not yet in the industry. It's actually you. You see, our industry is changing at an amazing rate, and what we're doing is actively going out and trying to find the next generation of the greatest real estate agents on the planet. That's what Keller Williams is. So now you understand compensation. You understand exactly how the real estate industry works. You understand the economics of how income comes into real estate agents. I'd like to address one more myth that you might have in your head, which is there's so much to learn, I don't know it and I won't be able to. Here's the thing. I'd like to think about this in knowledge versus wisdom. You see, I believe that we are on the quest to find both of those things at any given time. By knowledge, I'm referring to the specific intake of information. When you read a textbook, that's knowledge. When you're going to listen to the team leader in a moment, that's knowledge. You're getting pieces of information about a specific topic. Now, wisdom, I believe, is something totally different. You see, I believe that we're all born with a unique and divine soul, and within this soul, we have all of the wisdom that we're ever going to need. And in many ways, we think of this as quote-unquote common sense. And if you've been following along and you've been getting the feeling that this feels right to you, that's your wisdom. You see, life is all about finding the people that can give us the knowledge to simply unlock the wisdom that we already have inside. So when you go and you see some amazing speaker like a Gary Keller or the team leader that brought you here, and you feel something unlock, you might say, oh my gosh, I got such an insight from that person. But I'm here to tell you that's actually not right. Insight, the word itself, means you couldn't get it from outside. It's a sight from within. All you did in that moment was find somebody to unlock something that you already had. You see, that's the journey that we'll be going on together if you decide to move forward at the end of this video, because you're about to have to make a decision. The decision that you're going to get to make is whether or not the world deserves to have you be their fiduciary. It's a massive decision. You see, if you decide to become a residential real estate agent, what you're really deciding to do is go out and change as many lives in as many communities for the positive as possible. It means waking up every day and not just having a good year, but having a good career. It's as much of a calling as anything else. For some of us that have been in the business since we were kids, and I joined out of high school, I kind of think we're unemployable anywhere else. We just don't realize that until we get here. And then we look up and realize that we mark our days not by the number of phone calls that we may have made, and certainly not by the number of dollars that we acquired, but by the number of people that we got to help. You see, this idea of going out and changing the planet one homeowner at a time is something that I believe deeply in. Keller Williams came on the scene, and at that time we had office managers of all real estate companies. By the way, if you go out and you meet with other companies, you're going to meet a lot of office managers. We don't have those here. We have team leaders, and it's different. You see, office managers try to control today and try to manage the way things are. And team leaders spend all of their time thinking about the future and wake up and define their success by the speed by which you got to your success. If by any chance you've met one of these extraordinary humans, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. At the end of this video, you're going to be spending some more time with a team leader, and you're going to talk about market-specific conditions and exactly what being a real estate agent in your city, in your state, and in your country is all about. But I want you to be clear that the ideals are the same. The culture that binds us is universal. The limitless opportunity is universal. Loving people and helping people is universal. And the reason that people need our services is universal. I want to read an excerpt to you from a book called A Joy-Filled Life by Mo Anderson. When you join Keller Williams, you'll hear all about Mo. She's a very special lady. And she says, I realize now it isn't about your certification or credentials. It's more about having the ability and the passion to do something and the confidence to do it well. These qualities are just as important or even more important than a professional certification or a piece of paper saying that you took some class. Ability, passion, and confidence are what help you discover your true voice and sing your unique song for the world. I would learn this lesson again and again in all my years as a teacher. I want you to hear that, because I know that even I tried to bust the myths, but there's still some of you that don't think this is for you, or think you might not know enough, or you're saying, I can't. Friends, if I can leave you with anything, it's that every single one of you can. Everybody at Keller Williams wakes up every day and we try to help you build a big business so that you can go fund and power a big life, maybe even bigger than you've dreamed. You guys are in the right place. You're in the right time at the right company. I'm begging you, on behalf of you, take the next step and move forward with us. Come figure out what a limitless life looks like. Because here at Keller Williams, when we honor God, family, and business in that order, we find the best rendition of ourselves and the best rendition of our company. I can be completely candid with you and say we're missing something, though. The thing we're missing at KW, we're missing you. Come join us. I hope you do.
So as I mentioned before, we have 4 market centers that the owner of Keller Williams in our area owns. And we have people here, as you heard some of you when you were on the call at the beginning, from the Central Coast area and also from the Los Angeles or Porter Ranch area. So we have offices there. We also have an office in Tulare County. That's where I'm based, in Visalia, and in West Ventura County. And then each of these offices has business centers that you're able to work in. And so we have a total of 14 offices, 4 market centers, and then 10 business centers, all owned by Albert Meggers and this is a great way for you to be able to connect with others, learn from others, and even have referrals back and forth with different ones. Now, there are some steps to getting your real estate license. And in order to do that, first of all, you have to take a state-approved real estate course. And we offer that to you at no cost through Keller Williams via the Kaplan School of Real Estate. And Keller Williams is not the school, to be clear. It is through Kaplan School of Real Estate. And then upon completing that course, you would take a state exam. And when you sign up to do that and send in all your things, we also recommend sending your fingerprints at that time. Otherwise, when you pass your test, you won't get your license number until you do that and they're able to do your background check. So once you pass your state exam, you'd schedule an appointment with us to be able to learn how to work with Keller Williams as one of your options. Now, the next steps would be, if you are interested in pursuing this, I will put a link in the chat before we're done to an enrollment form where you can enroll into this course. Now, I know we have one here that already has taken the class. I'm also going to have you enroll because we have what's called KSCORE, or Keller Successful Career Opportunities Through Real Estate. And we do this through what we call KW Prep. And so what this is this is something that you will take in conjunction with your classes, and again, at no cost to you. This is everything you wish they'd taught you in real estate school that they didn't teach you in real estate school. And the goal is, by the time you finish your real estate class and take your exam, you are fully ready to hit the ground running, because you'll have activities and things to do along the way, rather than waiting until you pass your test and then now what? Okay, so I also like to give everybody a good idea of what it costs to get started in real estate. And these costs that I'm about to show you, except for the state exam, that's controlled by the state and it is accurate, but they're an approximate based on averages, okay? So the school for real estate pre-licensing would be at no cost to you if you choose to go this route. And your fingerprints are about $60, depending where you get those. The state licensing exam is $305. And in order to participate in being a realtor, you have to belong to your local board of realtors. And you do this after you pass your test and have your license. And the cost for that is roughly $1,200 a year, as well as your local MLS, or multiple listing service, which is roughly about $700 a year. Now, when you do first join, they prorate those, and many boards have those fees where they're due, like one due at the beginning of the year and one mid-year, so that it's not a huge cost all at once, which is a nice thing. You also have to have an electronic key access, and most of us have that through our phones. Super simple. So really, the total startup cost is around $2,300 to $2,500. And really, if you think about it, that's so little to start your very own business. And make no mistake, when you get a real estate license, you then become a business owner. And we here at Keller Williams, and through our productivity coaching program, we really help you learn how to build that business, not just sell houses and collect a commission check and put it in the bank and pay the bills and then get in trouble when taxes come around because we forgot to save, right? So we're going to help you build a successful, profitable business, and we're going to give you the tools to be able to do that. We're also going to help you develop powerful communication skills. Now, that isn't to say that we don't know how to communicate, right? But like with anything, there are certain things that you need to know how to communicate in the real estate industry, how to explain the market and what's happening in the market, how to overcome potential objections from somebody wanting to list with you versus somebody else, or somebody wanting you to reduce your commission. And we're going to coach you in ways to not have any of those things be an issue. We're also going to help turn limiting beliefs, Jason talked about those, into unlimiting beliefs, and how we really can choose to be successful. Henry Ford was famous for saying, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And so that really goes to show how our belief system, our mindset, really can affect how successful that we are. We're going to help you also have a predictable flow of income, because it can be a little intimidating, I know, to go into a business that is commission only. And if you use all the tools and do all the systems and models that have been proven years of research and that have been proven through successful agents, because remember, success leaves clues, we can help you be able to build that business so that doesn't have to be a concern. And then we're also going to help you reach your goals that you set by holding you accountable to those. And most people's first goal is to become and stay what we call a capper. And essentially what that is when you've paid your fair share into the market center for doing business that year. Any office, no matter where you join, there's fees involved. And we believe in capping our fees so that no one pays more than their fair share. Here is my contact information. You probably already have it, but you can write that down, take a screenshot. I can also put it in the chat for you. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here and see what questions that you guys have.
I have one that's, I guess, more a personal question. I am currently enrolled in a course. So I know it has an upcoming expiration that I'm trying to meet, from what I understood. If I'm still enrolled, would I still enroll in today's after session?
So yes, and here's why. And I'm going to put this the link in the chat right now for you guys to have. The reason is because whatever course you're taking, they're all, as long as you're going through a state accredited course, they're all going to get you to your real estate license. Okay. Keller Williams has partnered with Kaplan to be able to offer this to ones who have not yet started a course. And we're also offering the KW prep, like I mentioned, which really goes into helping with mindset, helping with getting your database ready and set up, and it'll give you things to do along the way. And it's a series of, I believe, 19 videos, and they're all 2.5 to 7 minutes. So it's not that big a deal. And yet all the information in those videos is going to be valuable information for you to get a good head start. Because let's face it, those of you that are going through the schools will know this, but real estate, pre-licensing courses for real estate don't teach you how to do the business. They teach you the laws and when this act started and why this started and all those things that you have to memorize to pass the test, which you will likely never use 98% of that ever again. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news there. But that's just the way it is, right? So yes, please still enroll, because there is going to be a question that says you're already in a course or something and you just need KW prep by itself, which is also at no cost. That's completely free to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I do want to mention a couple of things here. One of the things that you'll notice if you're ever around town and you see for sale signs in yards, and if you haven't noticed this before, you will after I say this. A lot of companies, when you see the for sale sign in the yard, you see the company, right? And you don't often know who the agent is that has that home listed, because maybe there's a phone number with a name, maybe there's a picture, maybe it's small somewhere on the sign, but the company really stands out. When you see a Keller Williams listing, it's the person that stands out. And Keller Williams has to be on there because that's part of the law and Department of Real Estate regulations and all that good stuff. But it's the person that stands out. And then one of the things that sets us apart from other companies is other companies want you to go to work for them and make them lots of money. We want you to come to work with us. And as I mentioned, once you've paid your fair share, that's that for that anniversary year. And that's one of the things that sets us apart from other companies.
I do have a question. Are you familiar? I'm sorry, it's because I'm about to retire from the military, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. We have a program. I'm just not sure if you're familiar with the Skills Bridge program, and I guess I can talk offline with you with that. But are you familiar with that with the military? Have you heard of it?
Not necessarily. Offhand, that's not ringing a bell. I do know that there are a lot of programs out there that work with military. I don't know specifically about that one.
Okay. Right. It's because obviously I'm trying to get out earlier to join, obviously the Keller Williams, to get my license and all that. So I'm just wondering if you would be the point of contact for that, or would I have to get with the local office and start working that with them?
What I would do, Marisol, send me an email about your question and the name of the program, because I'm not sure how that works. It might be something you have to start with your connections through the military and find out how that works. And maybe is it something that we have to reference or prove that you're doing it or something?
Yeah, I'll reach out to the gentleman. He's the one that kind of put it out there for us. I forgot what his name was, but pretty much it's a transition program for us, and I just wasn't sure. So that's why I was just wondering if this is, because he's the one that told me to get in contact with you and to register, and then from there we'll walk the process. But I guess I can reach out to them again. But I know he's part of Keller Williams one way or another.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Do you remember his name?
I put him as a reference on my information. I can't remember his name. I know he's I don't know.
I'd have to look that up. But yeah, go ahead and send me an email about that, and then reach out to that person for a little bit more information, and then connect with me and we'll figure out what needs to happen.
Okay.
How does I'm not sure if you guys if you put it onto the description on Indeed, but how do you guys provide leads? Do you guys do you guys provide leads, or do we have to like look it up for ourselves, or how does it work?
So good question. So we have opportunities to have leads provided, and we also teach you how to do that on your own as well, because we want you to be as successful as possible and make the most money possible, right? And when leads are provided, there's typically referral fees and extra fees involved, and that's no matter who's offering you leads from what company. And so we're going to give you all the tools, like Jason mentioned in the video. You have everything you need to have business now, and we're going to teach you how to do that, where you're reaching out to people and not, as some people have the limiting belief, bugging, right? We don't believe in bugging anyone. We believe in coming from contribution and helping. And let's face it, the people you know, when they have a real estate need, or if people that they know have a real estate need, you want to be the one to help them so that it's done right, right? You don't want them to go to agent B down the street who might not have their best interests at heart.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. One last question.
Okay.
How will the commission split for you guys usually work?
Okay, so that's a conversation we'll have offline,
Oh, okay.
because it's different for every market center depending on the area. And so that's not something that we typically have in a group setting. Okay, but happy to connect with you on that. Feel free to reach out to me, and we can calendar a time and talk about all that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And for April and Karina, since you two are finishing school and getting ready to take a test, I have a couple test taking tips. Now, this is for all of you when you get to that point. First of all, when you finish the class and you've set your test date, do your practice tests over and over and over and over again. That is the single best way that you can prepare to pass your real estate exam. Don't try to read through the material again or anything like that. Just do those practice tests, okay? So that's tip one. Tip two is when you're actually there taking the test, it's all electronic, so it keeps track of things. First of all, read the question in its entirety. Don't skim it. and don't think you know what it's asking because of a couple keywords. You know how sometimes we can all read too fast and we don't read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these tests are designed to be a little bit tricky. So read it in its entirety. Read all 4 options in their entirety. Okay, then choose the answer that you know it to be. And if by chance you're not sure of the answer, don't guess, skip it. Okay, finish through the test, because oftentimes a later question will answer one that you weren't sure of.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have one question.
Okay.
How approximately, what's the average time going through the course and getting a test? Is it 1 month, 2 months?
Great question. So the state of California makes you wait 18 days between tests. So if you're reading the first section and you take a test on that, and then there's 3 sections, right? And then you take a final, and then you apply for your real estate exam. So you can do it. You can apply for your exam in as short as 2 months. Kaplan gives you 6 months to complete it. Okay. And it's really just up to you and how fast or slow that you do it. Now, I will tell you, once you apply for your test, it could take 30 to 60 days to actually get a test date. It depends on how backed up they are, how many people are applying, that sort of thing. And then once you take your test, if you've sent everything in with the request, and the fingerprints and the whole 9 yards, you'll get your license number that day if you pass. If you didn't send it all in properly, it could have another 2 to 8 week delay on getting your license number.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Well, it was great to meet all of you. Again, that link is in the chat, so go ahead and use that if you would like to enroll into the course, and we will be reaching out to you. So here's what's going to happen for those of you that enroll. You're going to be enrolled first into KW Prep. Then you're going to do the first 2 modules. At the end of module 2, there will be a blueprint for you to fill out. Basically, how do you plan to be successful at this and stay committed to the real estate licensing course, okay? Once you complete that, you email that to me, and then we will enroll you into the Kaplan School of Real Estate, okay? So it's that simple. And then, of course, 2 of you go ahead and enroll, and we won't be sending you through to Kaplan, but we'll get you enrolled to the KW Prep. Okay? All right,
And
guys.
then, sorry, if we have any questions that comes up after the video, can we reach out to you?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So you should have my contact information. I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. It's super simple. It's just my name, Jodi Jolly, Jodi with an I, at gmail.com. Okay. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And April, Karina, I'm happy to meet with you guys. Reach out to me. I'll send you a link to my calendar so that we can talk to you about more specifically about Keller Williams and the benefits to you. And then, of course, the rest of you, as you go through your licensing and are getting ready for testing, we'll have that same conversation.
All right. Thank you, Jodi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
You too, but